No, come on. We've gone through this too many times in 1 year. Don't you dare delay Godzilla vs. Kong one more time. Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on another episode of Side Flick. My name is Chris. We've got some movie news to discuss today. We're going to be breaking down this look at adult King Kong in Godzilla vs. Kong, along with a couple of details, both good and bad. An update on the Conjuring 3, also entitled Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. And it wouldn't be an episode of Side Flick unless we discussed another famous franchise getting the reboot treatment. So I'm gonna need you guys to leave your opinions down below on what you think of everything that we've discussed today. Don't be shy, everyone's opinions matter here, so you better get in that comment section. And just a reminder that Side Flick is a great way for me to talk about a bunch of movie news that do not warrant their own big videos. So if you haven't already, check out the bigger news stories like an update on the Batman and getting to know what the origins of the new Batmobile will be in that movie. If you're interested in the Five Nights at Freddy's sound-alike movie Wally's Wonderland, we have an idea of when the trailer is coming along with a few details. Or if you're a Jurassic World fan and are looking forward to the next film, don't worry, it's not the end because the producers have a lot more movies they're going to want to make. I also have a video up that on my channel. I'll link them all in the description, or you can just find them on my page. But starting off with the first piece of news, let's talk a little bit about Indiana Jones 5. Oh, and hey, I got a pop for that. Fun fact, this pop's actually valuable. Close to $100 worth. So I'm a big fan of Indiana Jones, and I am just looking forward to this fifth installment, especially with how much I was let down with the fourth film, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I'm hoping Harrison Ford and whatever they have in store for Indiana Jones 5 is gonna restore the franchise and end it on a nice note, and probably set it up for more sequels to happen with a new Indiana Jones. Well, not only did we get the confirmation that yes, James Mangold, the man who brought us Ford v Ferrari and Logan, is confirmed to direct and write Indiana Jones 5. This will be the first Indiana Jones movie not directed by Steven Spielberg, which I know has a lot of us worried, but the man who brought us Logan is gonna be bringing us Indiana Jones? I'm all up for that. This was one of those films that got delayed for us. We were supposed to be getting it in June of 2021. But because of the whole pandemic going on, it was moved all the way to July of 2022. Harrison Ford, you better push through as much as you can because I need you in one more Indiana Jones movie. But the thing that surprised me most out of this confirmation and interview with the producers, Frank Marshall, is that Walt Disney went ahead and greenlit this fifth Indiana Jones movie without even having a script, without even having a plot, but just going, we like you as a director, let's make this movie. I think any Indiana Jones fan out there is really cautious about this fifth film, not only because Steven Spielberg is no longer attached, but because it's most likely Harrison Ford's last jump at the whip as Indiana Jones. It has to go out on a high note and make up for the horrible taste in our mouth of Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. But the fact that they don't even have a script ready and they're planning to shoot this movie as soon as things clear up with the pandemic does not give me high hopes. Let me know your guys' thoughts on Indiana Jones 5 moving forward. On the subjects of action movies, we have the Jason Bourne franchise looking to get a reboot. By the same interview that was conducted by the Indiana Jones news that I just talked about, Frank Marshall, who is also producer along with the Jason Bourne movies, talks about him wanting to start the franchise all over again. This is exactly what he had to say. Marshall is keen on it again with a different creative team than the original. I do like the Bourne series, and I do think that's an opportunity for different filmmakers to come in now. So I'm hoping that we can find a new story for Bourne and a filmmaker we are looking for. I gotta be completely honest with you guys, the Jason Bourne franchise never intrigued me unless we were talking about the Jason Bourne meme. And I love me Matt Damon, and I love me action movies, and there's no denying there's some great action there, but the type of story they were going for in these films never intrigued me to the point that I was just hooked on the series, that I had to stay on for every sequel. And they already sort of tried rebooting this thing with the Jeremy Renner movie that ended up going nowhere. In fact, it was just so uneventful that they had to make another movie bringing Matt Damon back. Even the television series that was based off the Jason Bourne franchise was just recently canceled, entitled Treadstone. I'm really surprised that they want to take another crack at a Jason Bourne movie. To me, since I'm not the biggest Bourne fan, I think it's time to let that franchise just die down for a bit and maybe bring it back several years into the future. But to you guys who are huge Jason Bourne fans, are you excited for them to take another crack at the franchise, or are you just not looking forward to it? Jumping into some horror movie news, we have The Conjuring 3 that as of right now is still set to come out in September of 2020. It is the third film in the Conjuring franchise. Also, it is the first one not directed by James Wan. Instead, the director chair was handed over to Michael Chavez, who also did direct a movie in the Conjuring franchise, but it was La Llorona, a movie that a lot of people just did not get into unless you were Hispanic like me and were threatened with two things as a child, La Chancla and La Llorona. Well, reports are now going around that this horror movie and the finale for the Conjuring series is set for over a month-long's worth of reshoots in August. Now, if you don't know what reshoots are, it's a thing that happens with almost all movies that are made today, in where after they filmed everything they needed to for the movie, they test screen it, they edit it together, and then when they're done, they go, oh, we could probably fix that scene. Oh, we probably need to add a scene there. The movie needs more laughs, or the movie needs more scares. So they do what's called reshoots to fix some of the issues in the movie. But for a modest movie like The Conjuring, which is technically a smaller horror film compared to most big blockbusters, a month's worth of reshoots sounds like a big issue. Especially since you're doing these reshoots a month before the movie comes out, there is no way in heck then they are going to meet their release schedule of September 2020. Conjuring 3, if these reshoots move forward, is definitely getting delayed into 2021. And that really sucks because the story behind The Conjuring 3, even though it does not have James Wan attached, has a really interesting premise that I wanted to see what they did with it. If you didn't know, the story of The Conjuring 3, also entitled Conjuring: The Devil Made Me Do It, is based on the real-life story of Arnie Chian Johnson. It's a famous court case about this man Arnie who went to court, and his defense on why he murdered somebody was the devil made me do it. Ed and Lorraine Warren are hired to go ahead and help their case out, prove that demons are real, and essentially it would become a scary story mixed with Law and Order. If Warner Brothers is wanting to do a month's long worth of reshoots, that could be almost half the movie. That's telling me that this La Llorona director, Michael Chavez, did not deliver on the level they were hoping for, and they're trying to fix this movie up as much as they can. Now, playing devil's advocate, because I don't like to be all negative here on this channel, it could be because of the COVID restrictions that their reshoots are going to take a lot longer than usual, because you have to remember now that studios are being allowed to make movies, work together, they still have to listen to social distancing rules, so only so many people are allowed at a soundstage at a time. You still have to keep your distance, and maybe because of these factors, it's a lot harder to do the scenes they want to do, thus requiring more time. But you guys hear about The Conjuring 3 going into an extensive long amount of reshoots, and the film most likely also being delayed. How do you feel about that? Alright, now jumping into some details about Godzilla vs Kong, one of my most anticipated for 2020, just because it's a versus movie. How often do we get to go to the theaters and see blank versus blank? If you just have that in the title, Sasuke, I'm there. And one of the many topics of conversations between Godzilla vs Kong is, how is King Kong, what we've seen so far, just a short little pipsqueak compared to Godzilla, is gonna match up when they fight? The running theory is that the King Kong we saw in Kong Skull Island was only an adolescent, was not a fully grown version of Kong. That seems to be proven correct now, because over the weekend we had a virtual Comic-Con for WonderCon, and one of these panels dealt with the creators of a graphic novel who worked as the prequel for Godzilla vs Kong. This is a thing that happens a lot in movies that maybe not a lot of people hear about, but when a big blockbuster is coming out, sometimes in the comic book world, they make a little prequel comic book to kind of tie in the story and prepare you for the actual movie Godzilla vs Kong. And in this prequel comic, they go ahead and give us a look at the adult version of Kong, and he's even got a beard, saying exactly here, new images of adult Kong with his beard have been revealed during the legendary comic Monsterverse Publishing 2020 panel that took place during WonderCon at Home 2020. These photos do look pretty amazing. For sure gives us a way different look at Kong than we're used to. The man definitely looks way more mature. Interesting that they go ahead and point out that this is a beard on him, because I'm like, isn't that just a regular hairy ape? But when you look back at the photos of Kong in Kong Skull Island, yeah, the man wasn't really rocking a beard. This is the smartest way to introduce Kong and let us know that he will meet the size of Godzilla in the Versus movie that'll be coming out. It just really sucks that this film has been delayed so many times that a lot of the merchandise and stuff that was supposed to come out after the movie is now all being revealed and kind of taking away some of that fun and mystery we were supposed to see the first time in Godzilla vs. Kong. And speaking of delays, there is reports going around. It's not confirmed, it's not official yet, so there's hope out there for us, but there's evidence that is suggesting that Godzilla vs. Kong could be delayed again into 2021. The evidence here is that there was an art book that was supposed to go in hand with Godzilla vs. Kong, where it just shows you all the concept drawings and artwork that went along to making the movie. This is something that happens with a lot of blockbusters, especially the Star Wars movies where they have art books. And this art book was set to release the same day as the movie, November 17th, 2020, but now it's been moved to May 21st, 2021. That would be a 6-month delay for this movie and would also put it on the same day as The Matrix 4, which is also set to get a delay since their shooting schedule has been pushed back thanks to the pandemic. So since that movie isn't even finished filming, they're for sure going to have to delay that, and it looks like Warner Brothers is going to want to take that spot that Matrix 4 is not going to be able to make. A lot of us can get angry and pissed off that they're delaying this film once again, but we have to look at this at a business standpoint, and hey, if we would like some sort of sequel to Godzilla vs. Kong or see this monster universe grow, we have to be willing to watch this movie at a time when most people are allowed to hit theaters, and that looks to be more likely in 2021 than at the end of 2020. How do you feel about Adult Kong? Do you like the design, and do you think the movie will be delayed once again, or it'll stay on its date? But that is just some movie news that we have currently going on, guys. Like I said, be sure to leave your opinions down below. If you've made it this far in the video, you're required to hit a like. It does so much for the channel, you have no idea. Don't forget to check out those other videos that I have linked in the description. Be sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at 3C Film Review. As always, I'm Chris. Take care.